Is Xi Jinping working for a bipolar world along with Donald Trump? Chinese president's comment at Busan summit has huge significance. Author Nitya Chakrabarti. The much-awaited meeting between US President Donald Trump and the Chinese President Xi Jinping ended on Thursday morning at Busan in South Korea, with both expressing high optimism at the outcome of the talks. Trump described the talks as amazing, saying that their dispute over the supply of rare earths had been settled and he would visit Beijing in April next year. But the most stunning comment during the talks was made by President Xi, who according to the Chinese media said that China's development vision goes hand in hand with Trump's vision to make America great again. This must have come as a shock to the Democratic and left forces in USA, who have been fighting hard battles against MAGA concept and its supporters due to its far-right character. Chinese President is the General Secretary of the Chinese Communist Party, having relations with the communist and left parties of the world. As the President of China, the second biggest economy of the world, Xi Jinping has every right to talk to the president of the biggest economy of the country, Donald Trump, and arrive at agreements taking into account the national interests of his country, but going gaga about MAGA vision was a stand which goes contrary to all the principles the communist movement in the world represents. Right now, in New York, the crucial elections to the mayoral post are scheduled for 4th November. Simultaneously, elections are being held for governor's posts in other states. All the Democratic Party candidates, including the left-wingers, are fighting the Trump nominees on the basis of their opposition to MAGA. Trump supporters will take full advantage of 11 comment in their campaign against the left, especially against Zohran Mamdani in New York. Now let us look at the outcome of the Trump 11 talks at Busan. On two major issues, agreement has been reached. China has agreed to resume supply of rare earths to the US, at least for 1 year. On production of fentanyl, Xi has agreed to consider its prevention, but no final assurance has been given. As regards soybean imports from USA, China has already started. Trump has agreed to lower overall tariffs from 57% to 47%. The 100% tariff threat from 1st November is no more valid after the Busan talks. So overall, who did win at the Busan meet, Trump or Xi? My assumption is nobody lost. It is a win-win situation for both. The US media analysts have already started saying how President Xi clearly won this round, but if President Xi's comments at the summit as reported by the Chinese media are analyzed, it is clear that Trump and Xi are working for long-term partnership to control the global diplomacy. The discussions at Busan were a part of that. As soon as the date was fixed for the Trump-Xi meeting on 30th October, the White House officials gave enough hint that it would be a long meeting dealing with major issues like Russia, Ukraine war, Taiwan, apart from trade. It was supposed to be of a minimum 3-hour duration since the two leaders were meeting after 6 years and so many important issues were pending for face-to-face talks. But finally, the talks lasted only 1 hour 40 minutes. Xi left for APEC talks and Trump took the flight for Washington. There was little discussion on Russia and no talk on Taiwan. President Xi told newsmen before leaving for the summit meeting that the economic and trade teams of China and US held in-depth talks in last few days and reached consensus on solution of problems. The draft was ready and it was a long-term projection. The draft was the updating of the earlier drafts worked at first in Geneva and then in London meetings of trade teams. This process will continue till the next summit of Trump 11 at Beijing in April next year. The most important signal of this meeting is that in the comments and dealing of the issues, Xi was looking from a long-term perspective of achieving the objective of building a robust economy of China by 2049, the centenary year of the Communist China. His focus was to what extent the US assistance could be extracted to achieve that goal. This was solely from his highly nationalistic thrust and nothing to do with his role as the leader of the Global South. President Xi wants to be the driver of the bipolar world along with Trump on equal footing. That is the message from Busan summit.